interesting. I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna read it out loud. Actually, it's Hawkeye talking in chat. But earlier on, I was mentioning that Koshkii actually just got to the Masters level as toss, so she would bring us that Masters idea of what Pure is doing, of what the Pure Protoss is.
I have actually seen Pure play. It is insane. It's something that I've tried to replicate a few times. I'm like, oh, Pure does this? I'm gonna do it now because he's a really good player.
Here we are loading in now to Ruins of Saris. Of course, I was gonna say I'm Koshkii. Of course, I am DrennoC, joined by Koshkii. I don't know how our overlays say at the moment, but I am not the redhead, even though it seems like it is. But any predictions? This is a best of three, of course.
I think, as far as predictions go, I am going to think that Pure might come out ahead, but we'll see. I know that TryThePriest is also a very good player, and I have no doubt that he will show some very good games too. But let's go ahead and introduce our players here. In the top left-hand side of this map, we have got our blue Zerg from Rival Gaming, TryThePriest.
And his opponent, in the top right-hand corner, the orange Protoss from Rival Gaming. It is Pure. You also gotta remember you're commenting really favor Pure, but you gotta remember that both of these players, I'm guessing, practice versus each other. They're a part of Rival Gaming.
They do.
And I'm sure they've known each other, practice versus each other, so this could be a very interesting game. I always can bring it back whenever there's teammates to casting. What was it? I think it was Hero versus Teja. Team Liquid v Team Liquid, essentially. And then in one of the games it was Dash and Terminal. Teja was like, hey, can I take the gold? And then he was like, yeah, sure. But literally typed out in chat. It was in Korean. He asked him if he could take the gold, and he's like, yeah, do it. It's fine.
But yeah, with these two players being teammates, that is a big thing, because obviously if you know somebody's playstyle, you can work with that. It would actually scare me more to be against a teammate, because...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The playstyle, if you know it, you can work with it.
Especially versus Protosses. Now, I don't think we're going to see a 2-gate after the Cyber, at least another gate being added on. Actually, it is going to be that exactly for Pure. And what I was going to mention is generally, if you do manage to scout that 3-hatch before pool or quick 3rd hatch, even though you can't achieve a lot of probe kills, you can force out lings with that early 2-adept or 4-adept pressure. And what do you think about that, Koshkii? Because I'm sure you've done that before. You've been that person.
Yes, and it actually works very well with those 2 gateways and the Cyber Core coming out. I have the feeling that's what it is, and that's exactly what it is. We've got the 2 Adepts coming out now. They're going to do a bit of damage, because Adepts in the early game are very strong. And you're going to force out lings. You could get a few drone kills. It's got a lot of potential, and I think it's a very wise move here for Pure to do, especially when he knows the location of his opponent. Those Adepts won't take too long to get across the map. They can do the fade, they can kind of get over there really quick and cause some damage.
At least this map is a little bit easier to defend Adepts than a map like Dust Towers Orbital Shipyard with those pocket naturals, of course. Or actually, it's a little bit better for the Adepts to do that, I guess. But to be able to move into them, only 2 lings on the way for TryThePriest, and that's a little bit scary for Mori. Does not quite have the money. There's actually just going to pump out 80s again. Gotta defend, gotta do whatever. It's generally going to be the queens that are actually able to push back these Adepts, but the lings can shut them down and deny their movement. However, there's still nothing at this natural, and potentially 2 Adepts, that one-shot drone, that's a lot of kills quickly.
Yeah, the fades are just about to finish, so the Adepts do escape onto the other mineral line there. And get a bit of damage done here, forcing out... they did force out lings, however, TryThePriest TryThePriest, yes, is making drones, so, not too many lings forced out here. TryThePriest was pretty smart and didn't make too many lings. Continued to drone up.
8 kills so far, though. This is amazing for this amount of Adepts, or actually, yeah, just in general. Generally, you don't see that many killed worker-wise because the Adepts, there's only 2 or 3 of them, getting up to that 10 more kills, and thankfully for TryThePriest TryThePriest, he has that third hatch to mine at, but still 11 Orcers down. It's not good, and now the Adepts getting themselves into a perfect position on this mineral line, are able to now blink down to the third and possibly even just retreat, but no, another Adept reinforcing off the back of this Pure, doing what he always loves to do, moving into that Stargate. It looks like he's possibly going to do an Oracle off the back of this.
Yeah, it's going to get there pretty quick, too, as it is in a pretty close location to the main. And right now, these Adepts are probably distracting TryThePriest a little bit. There are no Spore Crawlers at the moment in the mineral lines. So there are, however, there are Queens that could push the Oracle back a little bit. Oracle being chroned out, getting close to finished. But the Lynx headed right towards Pure's base, and there are a couple of Adepts. The pylons have not finished yet, though, so can't Photon Overcharge there yet. There it goes. Now the Photon Overcharge can go down. The Oracle, at the same time,
going to be a probe, and the probe barely gets down that pylon to be able to defend in the main, and just trying to get a link, trying to get in right there. Oracle's not going to be microed quite as well. It could have been. We only had 170 health for that Queen a little bit early, at 175. Not a lack of health, but earlier on the Adepts did achieve some damage, so maybe the Oracle could focus it down, but that's allowed enough time for TryThePriest to get up a Spore. Queen's going to be focusing down the Oracle, and 6 more kills, even though it doesn't seem like that much in total. There's been 20 workers killed.
That's a lot of workers, especially for Zerg. Because every larva you have to use, you've got to replace with those drones. But TryThePriest, he still is okay. He's got Spore Crawlers now coming out. He has got a third base still that is mining. It's pretty much saturated as far as minerals go. So he's still not looking too bad. And his Nat actually is looking okay too. So he's been hanging on.
TryThePriest has been hanging on. It looks like he's going to be going a Roach with an Evo Chamber and Lair, getting up to that possibly Roach speed +1 Roaches, however, with that, and that is something that can work. However, with the knowledge that there's a Stargate somewhere out on the map, he's going to be a little bit more delayed, putting Spore Crawlers down, whatever, with Queens. He's got to be super careful. This Queen is going to be focused down by the Pulsar Beams. One goes down, but like I was saying, even with going at Roach, he's got to be super careful because he knows something's out there. It's all about, does your opponent feel pressured? You may not actually be pressuring them, but it's going to be a scary position. However, TryThePriest is definitely pressured. Each Oracle, how many kills have they picked up? Like 2, and it looks like a total of 10, actually.
Yeah, but if we look at the actual worker supply, it's pretty even. So both, TryThePriest is doing a really good job in just getting his economy back up even after all the harass. And right now, at 650, but Pure is just now getting his third. So TryThePriest still isn't that far behind. However, the Oracles, they're pretty low health here. They need to be careful, but they are doing still some harass.
By the way, one thing you got to keep in mind, as you were mentioning, yes, they're in the same worker count. That means, where is there a deficit? There's a deficit, a large deficit for TryThePriest in his army value. He's only got 21 to the 33, but if you realistically look at it, he's got 26 Lings now, and there's a potent army out on the map for Pure. Lings are finally going to know about that base. It looks like TryThePriest's answer to taking economic losses is like, it should be more economic. Let's do this.
Yeah, that fourth base is about halfway done now. The Stargate has been unpowered, will go down. Right now, Pure is not moving out. His army definitely is stronger right now than TryThePriest, and he is going to see that soon. Pure's Hallucinated Phoenix going to kind of scout the army and just see what TryThePriest has.
Nice scout moving out, and we'll see what it actually ends up spotting. It doesn't look like it's going to spot too much. At least it does notice that there's not a huge army anywhere. Still, the Oracles in the middle in the third are going to be able to kill another Queen. Even them seeing the Lings, these Oracles have been so vital off the back of this Pure is just mounting up into a nice, I don't even want to call it death ball-y, but I guess Disruptors count as balls. So you got a death ball army from Pure is going up into Disruptor now. Getting Blink, it is honestly just putting together almost the dream composition, Blink Disruptor.
Blink Disruptor is very good in any matchup with Protoss, but PvZ, it works really well. So, especially with the army comp that we have right now of TryThePriest, it could get pretty deadly.
TryThePriest has to be careful because it does have that deficit in his army. Looks like he has got Lings in the middle of the map ready to move out, taking an extra base in the bottom left. Ooh, Oracles will be able to see these Lings pushing or falling back on a creep. There's a small creep spread, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. We now see Pure moving out. These Oracles are a nice little forward units or forward, I don't even want to call it, forward scouting emplacement, whatever. But here it is, TryThePriest spots the army. Stalkers moving in, and with Blink, they can be so versatile versus the Hydras. Hydras do have a lot of DPS, however, not +1 for the Hydras, nor their upgrades are ready yet, and this could be a very scary position to try to hold.
The Ravagers have morphed, though, and Ravager, you know, if they get some well-placed shots, could do a lot of damage here. They could also take any force fields down.
Yeah, they could. There is their opportunity, the golden opportunity. Interestingly enough, Disruptors move through force field is something I only discovered after I force fielded myself in against PvP.
The Mothership Core, though, was taken out there by TryThePriest. It went a little suicidal there and kind of went ahead of the rest of the army.
There's enough adepts here. If they do decide to stutter step, they can clean up these lanes. A couple more force fields used to delay the army. More Disruptors moving out. This perfect Disruptor shot takes out all the Ravagers. Pure now has the golden opportunity. A blinks forward, takes out a decent amount of these Hydras. Hydras are on the retreat. Thankfully, Hydra speed just finished. And you gotta remember, with the Ravagers gone, there's nothing delaying the Protoss army. Generally, you have the Ravagers corrosive biling, and that makes Pure have to pull back, and you have Pure's Disruptors making TryThePriest pull back, but now there is nothing for TryThePriest. As I was saying, yes, his economy is good now, but he's still at a slight deficit. Going to be going mass link, but here's a huge warp in the bottom left. We'll be able to focus this down. Well, in the middle of the map, it looks like TryThePriest is just all over the place, looking for an angle somewhere.
Yeah, but Pure is ready for it. He's got 2 Disruptors waiting at the Nat. He's got Adepts in at the third. But these links are targeting down that Nexus. At the meantime, Pure is going to attack and to TryThePriest there.
Oh, friendly fire.
Yeah.
Link just in time. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. There's too many links. These links did have +1 melee from very early on. However, the 4th base of TryThePriest was just sniped. Pure takes another base, but he's very low, and I think his 3rd is going to go down unless he's going to make a miracle defense.
And the Mothership Core going to go down again, but 3 Disruptors are back, ready to join the fight.
Pure's got to be really careful out in the middle of the map, getting somewhat caught out this time, and with the links shutting down the main Protoss force, allows the Hydras to get all the DPS down, dodges the Disruptors, which were the changing factor earlier on, and now we do have blink downs, so this big warping of Stalkers is going to be good, and it looks like the gas is now going to be moving into more Colossus, a little bit more sustainable DPS, but my oh my, the Hydras could so easily snipe that 3rd base, or even the 4th base.
Behind that attack, though, behind TryThePriest's attack, there was a little bit of harass with Zealots to TryThePriest's main and 3rd, which did kind of, I think it pulled the rest of that army back. It did do some damage.
By the way, just to note, both of these players have huge banks at the moment for only the 12-minute mark. Love to see more Zealots for Pure. Those Warpins could be incredibly potent. Left-hand side, we do have another Warpin possibly on the way. Warpers are doing that. And do we have Charge? Charge is being researched to make these better. 2 Colossus at a time on the way. The Lurker Den, ooh, that could be a very good thing to kill. But now, the lane's just scouting all over the place. This is truly, TryThePriest is all over the place. But with his map and units all over the place, he's not going to be at home to defend.
Yeah, and right now, we've got a lot more Zealots being warped in. This Warp Prison, though, being focused down, so that will be the end of the harass. The Zealots are doing so much damage, though. They are tearing apart those Hydras and just really causing TryThePriest a lot of problems.
This is the 1-1, or actually it's the 2-1 right here. This is so crucial for these Hydras to be able to fight 1-for-1 with the Protoss army. At the same time, on the right-hand side, actually, the Nexus looking like it's going to be focused down. Hydras clean up the main army, but the Lings, I'd love for them to go for the Nexus. Not looking like they will. Colossus is going to bring up the end, and that's the point where you keep just throwing stuff at it, and you're like, come on, die, die, and you lose everything because you move through the army.
We do have a Lurker Den, though, about to finish. Lurkers can be pretty annoying. Feels like an understatement for a Protoss. They can be very annoying. But Colossi will help with that, and there are observers on the field. And there are also Disruptors as well.
Lurkers are so close to being done, and that is 16 Lurkers. Even if you can focus them down, it's going to be so hard to deter that army. TryThePriest repositioning, and we'll see how quickly he can do this. Finally able to get a 4th base back up again, and he needs that to keep the income. Currently, it's not looking too good. Pure has a phenomenal income lead, about 1/3 more, and here are the Lurkers moving in. Let's see the wonders they can do. Oh, the Disruptor shot's not getting anything, and there's no Mothership Core to teleport back home.
And the Colossi going down very quick. However, the good blink up there for the army to get away from those Lurkers. The Colossi, though, they fall. The Disruptors have fallen as well. That's pretty much all of the AoE there for that army. The Stalkers blinking away, doing the damage that they can, but TryThePriest has been doing an amazing job of holding on.
And those Disruptors and Colossi were the core of the army. That was the reason that Pure was able to take some of these engagements against the Zerg army, even though he did have a very heavy lead. Now he does not 97 army supply of TryThePriest to the only 40 of Pure, and there is 16 Lurkers. As I said, it doesn't even matter if you have DTs or something. You can just focus down one Lurker where the DTs are, and everything dies.
Yeah, this amount of Lurkers, it's scary. Like, a lot of damage could be done here. However, there are a lot of little stasis fields here, and they do trap a lot of the Lurkers, which buys Pure a lot of time in this situation.
One more Colossi is out to defend, and very nice, what did we see? I can't remember what it's called, Revelation. Once they change it, I could never get it, but both players are going to snipe the base. The Destructor shots! Almost again being used. Both players snipe their opponent's fourth and fifth, kind of respectively. Although Pure is able to remax each time just a little bit better, he's able to take early economically, but now these Lurkers, the one situation when they don't do as well when they're moving through, but there's the burrow, and there's no observer, there's a stasis ward. Nice is tripped, which is going to be great for defense, but now TryThePriest has a chokehold on to Pure. Pure will be able to stutter step back with these Colossi, able to hold for a little while, and I love that actually one of the Lurkers in the stasis field. It's like, what? No! I'm smarter than this. I'm not the lanes.
The third does go down, though, and that is a pretty big deal, and a lot of the probe's going to be lost to the Lurkers as well while they run away.
10 more Stalkers are on the way, maybe to try to snipe it. Something just needs an army here for Pure, and basically all these probes that are be taken out mining, that's the one mining base, is the fourth base, or technically now the third base, but the Natural's only got a few mineral patches yet. Right now, Pure is being just choked out. He needs to be able to get to that base and needs to be able to not even transfer workers, but take a fifth base off the back of this. But at the same time, we have long-distance mining in the top left for TryThePriest. Both players are in a very wonky position, almost at chokeholds, and there's a big assault warp into the main, but still, TryThePriest is just kind of hanging out, doing the chokehold. But here's the warp in the main.
Pure's Warp Prism Harass is doing a lot for him here. He's getting a bit of damage done. He's forcing units to go in different directions. Now he does
get... shots could potentially be huge right here in the middle of the map. Pure pushing forward. He's got to be so careful. The concave is huge, and here's the Lurkers. Like, yeah, I don't think you realized I had 16 Lurkers, but big Disruptor shots. And amazingly, Pure is killing a lot of the army, but just looks like there's a little bit too much here for TryThePriest. Pure committed a little bit too earlier on. A little bit too much.
Both players have pretty low income at this moment, but TryThePriest at the moment, very, very low. He has to be careful with every mineral he spends at the moment. In fact, he is long distance mining all over the place just to get any mineral he can.
Currently, worker-wise, we're only at a 10-worker difference. However, our Protoss friend Pure has literally more than twice the income, doing it really, really well. Pure moves in again. Owen's got to be super careful. Pulls back another Disruptor shot. And just again and again, even though there's 16 Lurkers, Pure's good on the Disruptors. He's been snapping them left and right.
Yeah. At the same time, though, Lurkers, they're definitely hard to move away from the Disruptor shots. But otherwise, TryThePriest has been dodging these Disruptor shots pretty well in this game.
We do have this fourth base position, technically another third for TryThePriest, trying to get something up, but both players kind of choked themselves out, even with the aggression and not focusing into economy. Pure is putting himself into a much better position, did not lose his mining base, had it the entire time, and has a much more sustainable army with the AoE, Stalkers, Archons, and Colossus. There's a small Hydra Lurker force, but Lurkers are pretty much the last core of the army, and there's the cancel. Pure might as well just pull back for now after canceling that base once again. As you said, it's long-distance mining, and it's 200 minerals a minute to 800.
Yeah, it's really the economy is really looking strong here for Pure, or at least stronger than TryThePriest. But at the same time, a lot of damage has been done to Pure as well. In fact, Pure is just rebuilding bases as well, as he had a lot taken out.
And I love this late game Protoss from Pure at the moment. So you know what? Let's move into more Colossus heavy, which is something I'm seeing more and more, especially in PvZ. Number one, because, Disruptor is a little bit iffy, but if there's a Lynx around, they do friendly fire damage. Colossus is working out so much better, but it's just a huge, magnificent fusion. Do we have an Observer? We do have an Observer with a main army, but will it be enough? Just the Lurker's going to be able to push it back so easily, and there's still really TryThePriest is in a perfect position with these Lurkers. He's so on the ball with getting them out.
Oh, the Disruptor hits just a little far away, though. Just barely missed those Lurkers, and now without those Disruptors, Pure can't move forward, or else the Lurkers will just tear up his army.
It looks like he will be moving around the entire time on the bottom left. The TryThePriest is trying to get a base, and he's trying to get them up in these two individual bases, but there's a large GG, the army cut out in the middle of the map. And I love that score screen is now all in caps. I feel really excited.
I know.
Yeah, score screen! Awesome.
That was really impressive from both players, though. That was very close.
Every game today we've casted has been very long. Not much aggression in the early game, but actually we did see a decent amount of aggression from Pure with the Adepts. And what did he pick up? Like 10, 15 kills? And just like, hey, cool, works. And that's a kind of attack that it hardly ever works, but when it does work, you just kill everything.
Yes. But TryThePriest, his pressure too. He had Pure scared. You could tell. They both did. They both did a phenomenal job.
Game 2 will be pre-on terraces. Of course, you have the 6 gold bases on this, and see a lot of really cool things from both races that can be achieved on this map. A little bit quicker starts, but for now, we're going to have just a few seconds. I'm not sure how long TryThePriest and Pure are going to be. It looks like be right back. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Prion Terra is definitely a Zerg favored map in PvZ, but there are Protoss who can make it work out. There are pylon cannon rushes you can do, early pressure proxy gates. So if you're a Zerg playing on this map, you might want to scout around and just make sure that there is no shenanigans.
Someday there's going to be a Terran that takes the gold base, then expands to the other gold base, and is like, yeah, deal with it. I would love to see that.
I have seen Terran lift up their main, like it was Habitation Station back in the day, and just float on over to it and take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've seen that. I've actually seen that a few times at Dusk Towers. You do have a gold base roughly 35 seconds away from your main if you want to lift up and do that. At the moment, guys, bracket-wise, by the way, oh, come on, go back. I believe in you. There we are. And the bracket we're currently casting, of course, Pure versus TryThePriest. TryThePriest went 2-1 versus Printef, who is our cannon rusher. Pure went 2-0 versus Poison, and the winner of this is going to face either Pilly Pilly or Dipwood. So that will be in the semifinals. For now, though, pre-on terraces for TryThePriest v Pure.
It's a tough map for Protoss, but it can definitely work. In fact, we have seen some games in the past, some professional level games in which Protoss have made it work. It's cool stuff.
It is. I've actually seen, what have I seen? Mostly Zergs going 14-14, taking the gold and being like, yeah, I'm not actually at a deficit economically because it's a gold base and I can take it this early.